Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me as one of your speakers in this ASF webinar. As stated in the invitation letter, I have to cover 4 topics assigned to me, namely, the recent situation of the meat industry, policies and regulations on meat safety, programs and services of the National Meat Inspection Service, and the challenges under COVID-19 pandemic and ASF outbreak. Okay. At the start, so far I was able only to get to 2019 data by the Philippine Statistics Authority on livestock, and had the highest production of 2.3 million and the highest per capita consumption of 9.46 kilograms. This is followed by the broiler production of 1.9 million kilos and per capita consumption of 8.07 kilograms. So, during the fourth quarter of 2020, the PSA reported a decrease in the production of hogs by 13.8%, while the broilers it decreased by 7.9%. However, by 2028, it is projected that pork per capita consumption will increase to 34.6 kilograms. That's tremendous, from 9.46 kilograms. So, lucky for the hog producers by 2028. Okay. Okay. With this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world we live in, there is a need to ensure food security and safety for all Filipinos. So what are the opportunities as of now for the meat, particularly the NMIS? We need to implement, one, the Mantanas-Garcia Supreme Court ruling, wherein all the internal revenue allotment of the local government units will increase starting 2022 to 2025, 3 years. Okay. So the total increase for all local government units nationwide will be 430 billion. That's too much. Increasing demand for meat protein, where the trend is for identification of other sources of meat protein. So later on, we will see what's the trend for NMIS. There is also increasing number of meat establishments because of the increasing demand. Advanced technology, more on IT, because with the pandemic and the outbreak, we are now migrating into digitalization. Okay? Globalization and international free trade, increasing importations, but static when it comes to exportation. What are the threats? We have human and animal epidemic and pandemic. Pandemic is the COVID-19, animal epidemic is the African swine fever virus. Okay. We have recession. As of January 2021, PSA recorded 4.2% inflation. And the unemployment at the end of the 2020 increased to 17.7%, which is 7.3 million unemployed Filipinos. So that's the effect of the two epidemics and the pandemic. So we have also natural disasters, of course, typhoons, earthquakes, floods, man-made disasters. Example, these are pollutions, the fires, accidents, and the threat terrorism. Non-competitiveness, high production cost of domestic livestock and poultry. This is understandable because most of our feeding ingredients are imported, particularly fish meal and soybean meal. Limited agricultural arable lands. Okay? But there is an executive order from President Duterte that public lands can now be given out to those agriculture graduates and to those who are interested to apply. So you may as well apply with DNR because it's the DNR who is supervising all these public lands. And then the climate change it's a reality. And with the new president of the United States of America, President Biden, this is his focus, climate change. So the future trend will now be for climate change. Okay, this is now the 1DA approach. There are actually 4 key strategies to transform the Philippine agriculture into a modern, productive, and sustainable agriculture for the country. So, yung banner program, banner slogan ni Secretary William Dar, yung si Ani at Kita, the twin sisters, Ani Kita, ito, paano natin ma-reach yung stage na yon. So, we have, on the left side, we have the paradigms given by the Secretary. And on the center, these are the strategies on how to attain those paradigms. So, for NMIS, you look at food safety and regulation. So, food safety is one of the components of food security. So, sabi ni Honorable Secretary, kailangan i-modernize ninyo ang food safety and regulations kasi napag-iiwanan na kayo. I think it is true. Yung dapat i-modernize natin kasi kailangan ang government na magbigay sa consumers. Dapat nga nauuna ang consumers. Pero parang consumers, wala kang makitang mga complaints sa consumers na parang satisfied na sila. Iniisip ko, bakit ganun ang attitude ng mga consumers? Siguro, dahil sa scarcity ng food, napataas ng presyo and mababa ang supply. Kaya nga siguro, kung ano na lang dyan ang binibenta sa palengke, yun na. Pero later on, you will see ano mga rights ng consumers under the law. Okay? So we have legal basis for meat safety or food safety particularly. We have 1, the 1987 Constitution. 2, we have statutes or legislations. Number 3, the rules and regulations, particularly the implementing procedures and other issuances of the Department of Agriculture and the National Meat Inspection Service regarding meat safety and food safety particularly. And the last, these are the ordinances enacted by the local government units on meat inspection or food safety. Okay, under the 1987 Constitution, the Filipinos were given 2 rights guaranteed by the state or the government to be protected. One is the right to health. Section 15 of Article 2 says that the state shall protect and promote the right to health, okay, of the people and instill health consciousness among them. So, you are what you eat, di ba yun kasabihan? So, if you eat yung mga nearly spoiled or highly contaminated, which we cannot see with our naked eyes. So, yun ang possible na doon tayo mapunta sa ospital. Okay? We have also another right against fraud. Di ka dapat nilililang. Okay. Section 9, Article 16 states that the state shall protect the consumers from trade malpractices and from substandard or hazardous products. So, later on, we will see anong ginagawa ng agency namin to protect all these 2 rights given under the Constitution. Okay, we have several legislations enacted already by the Congress. Okay, the latest is Republic Act 10611 of 2013, which is known as the Food Safety Act of 2013. So, the Food Safety Act is a general law and it defines the jurisdictions of the agencies under the Department of Agriculture. For instance, the National Meat Inspection Service, we used to regulate our regulation includes the meat products, but under the Food Safety Act, it was transferred to FDA. So for now, the NMIS authority is only on meat, whether it is fresh one, chilled, frozen meat under Section 13, the post-harvest stages of the food supply chain. Number 2, under Section 18A, processed and prepackaged foods. This is the jurisdiction of the Department of Health, Food and Drug Authority. Food processing and food packaging activities. Okay. Under Section 15C, it defines the jurisdiction of the local government units. Okay. The LGUs are responsible for food safety in the slaughterhouse, poultry dressing plants, fish ports, wet markets, supermarkets, school canteens, restaurants, catering establishments, water refilling stations, street food sale, ambulant vending of food. Okay? So, medyo comprehensive ang authority ng LGU. So, consumers, medyo siguro mag-checklist kayo. Ginagampanan ba ito ng mga LGUs or not? So, kailangan kasi ang LGUs enact sila ng ordinance on food safety or food safety inspection service sa area nila, covering all this. Okay? Kailangan kasi ang ordinance must be based on the enacted laws. Okay? And then, lastly, the Department of Interior and Local Government, it is mandated to supervise the enforcement of food safety and sanitary rules and regulations. Sila nag-oversee. Together with DA and DOH, of course, are the laws and the rules and regulations being implemented by the LGUs. Okay, mandate nila yan. Okay, for NMIS, for meat safety, the latest legislation is Republic Act 10536, which amended the Meat Inspection Code. The Meat Inspection Code is Republic Act 9296 of 2004. So, at the bottom is Presidential Decree number 7 of 1972. This law created the Meat Inspection Commission, and the jurisdiction is limited only to the meat inspection along the various marketing stages of the livestock to the meat. Okay, but PD7 was amended by 9296. It renamed the Meat Inspection Commission into National Meat Inspection Service and expanded the jurisdiction on meat inspection and then meat hygiene. We have now the mandate of NMIS. The mission of a government office is also its mandate. So this is now our mandate. The NMIS is a specialized regulatory service attached to the Department of Agriculture. It has been identified as the sole national controlling authority on all matters pertaining to meat inspection and meat hygiene, as guided by laws and issuances. So noon kasi, focus lang kami on meat safety. And now, included na sa amin on meat quality. So later, siguro, in the coming years, mag-issue na rin kami ng issuances or regulations on labeling, especially expiration date. Critical yun. Yung kanina na-mention, as of now, we are working on standard grades of pork carcasses kasi wala pa tayong standard grades sa Philippines. Although yung mga countries exporting to the Philippines, meron na sila ganyan standards. But under the law, we need to follow yung codex standards under WTO agreement on sanitary and phytosanitary measures. However, if there are no standards available or issued by Codex Alimentarius Commission, then we can set our own standard. Either there is scientific evidence for that particular standards, which means we conduct research. That's the or technology resulting from the research is called the scientific evidence. Okay, with that mandate, we have now the hashtag NMIS safe. So I don't know for LDU if they have already their own hashtag. Is it safe or not? So yun ang challenge ko sa LGUs. Why? kasi doon sa Local Government Code of Republic Act 7160, meat inspection was devolved to the meat inspection function was devolved to the local government units. Under PD7, meat inspection was solely controlled by NMIS nationwide. With the local government code, it was devolved. So we have 3 classifications of meat establishments, the A, AA, AAA. So as of now, the AA and AAA, these are under the supervision of NMIS. And the A, meat establishments, these are the registered meat establishments with a local government unit, meaning these are not accredited by NMIS. Okay, so going back to the Republic Act 10536, the further amendment of Republic 9296, which is the Meat Inspection Code of the Philippines, that particular law, 10536, provided for the NMIS reorganizational structure. So later on, I will show you the NMIS organizational structure. It also provided the penalties. So for violating any provision of the Meat Inspection Code. So what are these penalties? Okay, one is imprisonment from 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. Okay, meaning there's no probationary period. A probation for violation of any provisions of the Meat Inspection Code. Kasi 6 years and 1 day yan to 12 years. Okay. Another sanction is the imposition of administrative fines from 50,000 to 500,000. So ganon kabigat ang parusa sa mga nag-violate ng Meat Inspection Code. So sabi ko nga, parang hindi active ang mga consumers. Walang not so much complaint na na-receive ang office namin. So hopefully, siguro, I think kulang pa sa knowledge or advocacy ang government na ito na pala ang dapat mangyari on food safety and meat safety, okay? So, dito sa fresh meat supply chain na takpan, medyo matakpan. I don't know kung nakikita ng iba, okay? I've drawn yung the scope of meat safety and even food safety under the Food Safety Act. It starts from the farm, it ends the table of the consumer. So, what are the laws governing meat safety and food safety? Okay, so from the farm, I have also placed the actors or players along the supply chain. We have the producers, farm producers, livestock and poultry producers, the meat establishments, so ME, which is composed of the slaughterhouse, poultry dressing plant, meat cutting plant, and cold storage warehouse. And we have also depot and distribution. This is similar to cold storage warehouse. So I removed the meat processing plant because it's no longer with NMIS, it's with FDA. So then we have the market, which is under the local government units, right? The consumers, this is under DTI. And for meat, per commodity, like meat, it is being any complaint related to meat and byproducts, these are being forwarded to NMIS by DTI, okay? So for producers, this is being regulated by the Bureau of Animal Industry, like transport, then quarantine for animal diseases, okay? So what are the legal bases? What are the laws? Republic Act 8586 as amended by Republic Act 10630. Okay, what is this? The Animal Welfare Act, okay? And then Executive Order 292, this is a law. pertaining to the quarantine when it comes to animal diseases. Okay. So for NMIS, I have discussed the two important laws, the Food Safety Act and the Meat Inspection Code as amended. So we accredit, we have inspection and hygiene. Our authority is only up to AA and AAA. Okay. For markets, since this is an economic enterprise as classified under the local government code, this is under the local government units, and it is also covered by the laws, Food Safety Act, which I defined, which I have given a while ago, jurisdictional LGUs. Then 7160, and what is this? PD 856, Code of Sanitation of the Philippines. So it is the local government units that implement this particular law, Code of Sanitation. So LGU, they issue business permits or licenses. They conduct inspection also and hygiene, but in LGU registered meat establishments. Okay? For the consumers, there are statutory rights given under Public Act 7394, which is the Consumer Act of the Philippines. And we have created an adjudication board. Every commodity agency like meat, we have adjudication board which decides complaints being submitted to us. Okay. So these are required under the law. Okay. Okay. Who are the major external stakeholders of NMIS? So we have several, like the consumers. Consumers, I think this is unorganized. So my typo error yan. It is unorganized, not really organized ang consumers. That's why hindi makapaglabi, yan ang problema. But ang organized are the producers, the vendors, the traders, okay? The vendors, meat traders, including online sellers, okay? We regulate now. Later on you will see. We regulate now. We started regulating the online sellers starting last year during the lockdown. Meat establishment operators and owners, butchers and meat handlers, livestock and poultry farmers, highly organized and very strong in lobbying. Meat importers, traders, and processors, they are also highly organized, except yung mga sa processor sa market. Yan, fly-by-night or small scale processors yan. These are, problem na to be regulated by the LGU kasi hindi sila registered with FDA. Okay? Meat transport vehicle operators, it is, again, this is unorganized. Wala pa ako nakitang cooperative sa distributors or logistics group. The local government units, this is organized from the barangay, the League of Barangay, League of Municipalities, League of Cities, League of Provinces, highly organized. So, with the forthcoming further devolution of functions of the Department of Agriculture and also the National Meat Inspection Service, ito, magiging kausap namin ang League of the local government units kung ano ang i-devolve namin sa kanila because tumaas ng ira nila, kailangan may lalagyan sila ng pera. So, sabi nga ng DBM, umaabot sa 33%, ay parang 33% ang increase ng ira ng mga LGUs per year. Okay. So, for instance, doon sa province of Batangas, umabot ata ng, kasi silang nag-question, si Governor Mandanas and Congressman Garcia, sila nag-question na erroneous ang computation ng BIR sa ira nila. So, the Supreme Court made the decision na talaga erroneous kasi doon sa computation ng BIR, yung revenue ng BIR, hindi nila in-include yung revenue from customs. Yan, yung tariff, di ba? revenue pa rin yung national government kasi sabi sa local government code, lahat ng revenue ng government, yun ang basis ng IRA ng LGUs. So, yan. Although another request nila na from the start, 1991, di ba, enacted ang local government code. Sabi ng Supreme Court, hindi, ngayon lang kayo nag-question, so mag-start sa 2022 ang increase ng IRA ninyo. So, that's it. So, maraming gustong i-devolve ang DBM sa LGU because of that, increase in IRA ng LGUs. Okay. National government agencies that help NMIS, we have BAI, DA Regional Field Offices, and also BAPS. Yung BAPS ang nag-develop ng standards when it comes to meet together with NMIS. Standard is voluntary in nature, but when a standard is converted into a regulation, it becomes mandatory. So, yun. So, once we develop yung carcass grades, different grades of pork carcasses, it will become a standard. Then we need to convert it into a regulation so that we can implement that in the slaughterhouses, right, in the hog line. Then we have foreign counterparts from embassies, food and veterinary offices, counterpart ng veterinarians and inspectors sa NMIS. And the last yung hindi nyo nakita, we partner also with the academe. So from time, this is not all the time, from time to time, we have researches jointly undertaking with the academe. So last year, we have finished the research on antimicrobial resistance with UPLB, College of Veterinary Medicine. Okay, this is what I'm telling you, the organizational structure of NMIS. Under the law, Republic Act 10536 provided the organizational structure of NMIS. We're supposed to have 11 divisions, but then the approved rationalization plan under Executive Order 366 series of, this is not 2013, series of, anong year yan? Wait, sometimes in 2000, 2004, typo error lang yan. So we have only 7 divisions. 5 are technical divisions and 16 regional technical centers, excluding BARM. So from 396 plantilla position, it was scaled down to 362 only. So as of now, we have 66 vacant positions. Actually, only 18 are remaining vacant positions because 48 we submitted already the documents of the applicants to the civil service, and we're just waiting for the approval of the civil service. Okay, so we have these technical divisions, accreditation and registration. So they also they issue the license to operate to all meat establishments, and they also handle the meat safety quality assurance program of the agency. We have the plant operation standards and monitoring division. They are involved in the implementation of the meat inspection system and the issuance, the certification of the meat and byproducts. They issue the meat inspection certificates. So that is an accountable form, and without absence of the meat inspection certificate, the meat is classified as or considered as hot meat. So yun, mga consumers, yun ang hanapin nyo sa vendors, kailangan may meat inspection certificate sila. Kung hindi sila makaproduce, kinatay lang yan dyan sa tabi-tabi. Okay. We have also meat import inspection and export division. Okay. So self-explanatory, importation and exportation. Okay. with the Standard Development and Consumer Protection Division, and ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, we develop the standards together with BAPS for issuance by BAPS as a standard, and later on, the standard is converted into a regulation for implementation by NMIS. Okay? We have also the Laboratories Division, which is a support service to all these divisions of NMIS. 5 technical divisions and 2 support divisions to operations. So the Administrative Finance Management Division, this is my division. I am the Deputy Executive Director for Administration and Finance. This is my division. So another, the Planning and Information Management Division, this is with the Executive Director. Okay, alignment of NMIS trust and priority. So we have on the right, the 8 paradigms identified by the Honorable Secretary of the Department of Agriculture: modernization, industrialization, infrastructure development, export promotion, consolidation of small, medium-sized farms. This is now the trend, clustering of farms, because farmers can never attain economies of scale if they are not consolidated. Kasi sa atin, di ba, average of 1 to 2 hectares lang ang farms being tilled by a farmer. So kailangan consolidate sila para makaproduce sila isang crop, whatever. Kung ano yung ma-decide ng grupo. Okay? Production lang, but not the ownership of the land. Okay? Budget and investment, legislative support, and recently, yung legislation that was passed or enacted is the Coconut Levy Fund law. Okay? That's the latest. The roadmap development, so assign ang NMIS, development na broiler roadmap. Okay? What are the 4 key strategies under 1DA? This is the most recent, just January. This was issued by the Secretary. Okay? Mobilize and empower the partners, so consolidation and mapping of infrastructure investments, strengthen food safety and regulations. Okay? So, dapat nandarito dun sa modernization. Strengthen post-harvest processing, logistics, and marketing. Okay, na-double itong mobilization of and empowerment of partners. And last is global trade, export development. And program, we have only 2 major final outputs. One is the meat industry sector developed. The other one is the meat safety quality assured. So under the sector developed, we have the local meat establishment assistance program, meaning we provide technical assistance to both private and LGU partners. Okay, so under the meat safety and quality assured, this is the regulatory program or regulatory function of NMIS. So sabi nga nila, hybrid ata kayo. You have both the developmental function and then regulatory function. Di ba yan nagkakaroon ng conflict? Okay, but nevertheless, we cannot do anything about that. The law says so. So we need to follow the provisions of the law, the words of the law. Okay. The strategic goals of NMIS, we have 5 strategic goals: enhancing partnership with the stakeholders and government institutions. We have strengthening compliance to international standards. As I said a while ago, we follow the standards of the Codex Alimentarius Commission that is provided under the WTO agreement on sanitary and phytosanitary measures. Okay. For food safety, it's always the Codex Alimentarius Commission. If there is no available standard or recommended standard by Codex, then that's the time we need to conduct research here in the Philippines, and the technology that is generated, that will be the scientific evidence that we can submit to the WTO whenever there are challenges being propounded by other members of the WTO. Okay. Enhance global community measures, hindi ko makita, tatakpan enhance cooperation with global community and meat industry. Number 2, strategic goal, strengthening meat-related legislation, reinforcing NMIS regulatory functions. And number 1, institutional strengthening NMIS and the LGU meat inspection service. Okay. So we go back doon sa Accreditation Registration Division. So ARD is in charge of the meat safety quality assurance. So as of now, NMIS is ISO certified, both the central office and 16 regional operating centers. Okay. So we comply with the executive order of the president and DBM also, that all government agencies must be ISO certified. So we are proud of that. Okay. We have also this DA, Department of Agriculture Administrative Order number 9, which mandates the mandatory implementation of HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point Program for all accredited AAA meat establishments, meaning slaughterhouse, dressing plants, meat cutting plants, and cold storage warehouses. So, meat establishments with HACCP certification in 2019, it decreased to 54. They were not able to renew their HACCP certification last year because of the lockdown. So, 30 meat establishments were not able to renew. So, yun ang naging problem namin, yung lockdown. Okay, next is the licensing and registration function. This is still under the Accreditation Registration Division. We're able to accredit 553 meat establishments, of which 87% or 482 meat establishments are classified as AA, meaning the distribution of the meat is, okay, 13% or 71 meat establishments are classified as AAA. The distribution of meat is for international trade, okay, AAA. So, if the meat establishment is classified as single A, the distribution of the meat is only within the territorial jurisdiction of the LGU. If it is municipality, within the municipality. If it is city, within the city. Okay? Okay. Then we go to the next division, the Plant Standard Operation and Monitoring Division. They are responsible for the implementation of the meat inspection system, okay, and issuance of meat inspection certificate, okay. If we compare 2019 and 2020, all food animals on the table decreased in the number of heads that were slaughtered, except for the bottom, the sheep. The sheep slaughter increased by 413 heads, or equivalent to 530%. I cannot explain why this there was sudden increase in the slaughter of, maybe because all other food animals decreased in the volume of the slaughter, or number of heads that were slaughtered. For cattle, it decreased by 26%, carabao 38%, hogs decreased by 5%, minimal lang. For horse, it decreased by 37%. For goat, 38%. For poultry, 7%, minimal for hogs and poultry. Ostrich, 0, wala sila, 0. And then, crocodile, 0. Ostrich, minimal din, ang decrease sila. So, compared to 2019, total of 456 million heads of food animals were slaughtered. But in 2020, 607 million heads were slaughtered, decreasing by 49 million. Okay. So, this is attributed to the lockdown. Okay. Okay. So, kung minsan, sinasabi natin, meat inspection. But actually, the law says it's a system. Okay? So, meat inspection system. So, yun ang function or responsibility ng plant operation, plant standard operation and monitoring division, implementation of the meat inspection system. So, what are the components of the system? Okay. One, human handling of slaughter animals. Okay? Hindi basta-basta bawal na yung may blade, di ba? May we call that Zorro marking. We use blade and then mark the slaughter animals. Bawal na yan under Animal Welfare Act. And then yung transport trucks ng live animals, these are being accredited by the Bureau of Animal Industry. When you transport the animal, it must be humane transporting of animals. So may prescribe ang Bureau of Animal Industry dyan. So kami, ang jurisdiction ng NMIS is only within the slaughterhouse, within the meat establishment. So pagdating sa meat establishment, nag-follow ba yan ng guidelines on humane handling of slaughter animals? Sa large animal, yun ang na-observe namin, yung supak, flooding, sa English flooding, yung forced drenching ng tubig, inhumane yan, considered as inhumane doon. And animal welfare law is also a special criminal law. Okay. Another component of the meat inspection system, the conduct of antemortem, postmortem inspection. Okay. Kailan magkaroon dyan ng nakaline, may slaughter line, nakatayo dyan ang inspectors. And bago mag-conduct ng antemortem inspection and postmortem inspection, ang meat inspectors, either from NMIS or LGU, kailan nag-undergo siya ng basic meat inspection course. At nakumpleto niya. Okay. Saan? Sa NMIS. NMIS lang nagbibigay nun. Okay. Number 3 is quality assurance programs. So these are the components: hygiene and sanitation program, good manufacturing practices or GMP, sanitation and standard operating procedures, SSOP. These are the prerequisite programs for HACCP certification, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point Program. So this is only mandatory for HACCP is mandatory for AAA, while GMP is mandatory for A meat establishments. GMP, SSOP, or hygiene sanitation program for AA lang requirement as of now. So number 4, we need to have residue control program. So from the slaughterhouse, kukuha ng sample ang meat inspectors natin, papadala sa laboratory natin. We have laboratories from the regional technical operation centers, or dito sa central office, meron din kami central meat laboratory to determine anong mga residues nandyan sa meat. Okay? Number 5, these are the regulatory activities, includes registration ng meat transport vehicles. Kailangan kasi yung kailangan refrigerated. Okay? Under PD 856, kung ang transport time ng meat is 2 hours or more, kailangan gumamit ng refrigerated vehicle. So requirement na yon sa mga meat transport vehicle. If you watch the news 2 days ago, I think last weekend, last Sunday, agad niya yung nagdadala ng COVID vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines. Those are refrigerated meat transport vehicles. Ginamit nila kasi siyempre kailangan, di ba? Bugnaw, malamig, kailangan ng vaccine. Okay. Other regulatory activities, licensing, accreditation, meaning we classify the meat establishments into A, AA, AAA. So only NMIS classifies meat establishment. Kung A ka, nandun ka sa LGU. For AA, AAA, okay, tulong tayo. Mamaya makita nyo, meat inspection officers being deputized by NMIS. Ilan sila as of now? Okay. we have enforcement of regulations. So, enforcement team namin, they check yung compliance na mga establishments, vendors, sellers, on the laws and provisions of the laws and the regulations. And the last is the support service, the laboratory examination. So there are only very few LGUs with laboratories like Marikina. They have laboratory or meat safety. They can analyze. And when I was assigned sa Bacolod City, meron laboratory. So we have not yet conducted survey kung sino yung mga LGUs with laboratories na capable of analyzing meat contaminants. Okay. This is the I've listed down yung mga accredited meat establishments as well as LGU registered meat establishments. For AA and AAA, total of 553 meat establishments were accredited by NMIS, whereas LGU registered, meaning doon lang ito sa LGU, sa locality nila, within the jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction of the LGU, 876, okay? Okay. National and local meat inspection officers. This is the breakdown. Yung sa second row, number of NMIS meat safety auditors, we have 37 veterinarians and 27 meat inspectors. Wala pa sila nito sa LGU. So anong function ng meat safety auditors? Sila yung nag-check ng compliance ng meat establishments, whether or not they implement GMP, SSOP, etc. So the result of the audit is the basis for the renewal of the license to operate, LTO, or the meat establishment. So on the first row, number of meat inspection officers in the meat establishments, these are yung mga naka-online, yung sinasabi ko kanina. So 97 veterinarians, 156 meat inspectors, okay? Total veterinarians conducting meat inspection work 151, while meat inspectors 456. So nilagay ko at the bottom yung section 14, which requires all meat control officers, these are the veterinarians, meat inspectors either appointed or designated by NMIS or LGU, are authorized to conduct meat inspection work provided they completed the meat inspection training conducted by the NMIS. So kung wala silang training, they have no authority to conduct inspection. Sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, Republic Act 10536 provides the penalty. Any provision of the meat inspections code which is violated is penalized by 6 years and 1 day imprisonment up to 12 years. Okay? So masyadong yan, mabigat yan. So mag-training na lang, di ba? Okay. So ratio of meat inspection officers to meat establishments. Okay. NMIS meat inspection officers, both veterinarians and meat inspectors, we have 253. Whereas our accredited meat establishments is 551. So at present, ang ratio, 1 meat inspection officer is to 2 accredited meat establishments. Okay. Ideal is a ratio of 3 meat inspection officer per meat establishment, per accredited meat establishment. Why? Why 3? We have 3 stations: head inspection, visceral inspection, and carcass inspection. Kaya ng isang meat inspection officer na dalawa ang kanyang meat establishments. Okay? What if malayo ang dalawa? So ito yung predicament ngayon o problem ng isa sa mga challenges ng NMIS. Kasi di nga kami nabibigyan ng additional employees ng DBM. Okay. So anong ginagawa ng NMIS? So what we do is to deputize the LGU. So we have a total of 290 LGU meat inspection officers that help us conduct the meat inspection in accredited meat establishments. So 290 both veterinarians and meat inspectors. Okay. Per our data, we have locally registered meat establishments. As I said a while ago, these are not the accredited meat establishments like NMIS, 876. Okay? There are 148 municipalities plus cities. So the ratio is 1 meat inspection officer is to 3 locally registered meat establishments, which is greatly impossible. Kasi dapat sa LGU, 1:1, di ba? Kasi limited ang distribution nila, at least 1:1. Ang distribution nila is within the territorial jurisdiction of the LGU. Okay. So, hindi man pwede isang employee na meat inspection officer employed by an particular LGU, magkukross siya doon sa another LGU just to conduct meat inspection. So, 1 meat inspection officer is to 3. So, I was wondering, ito nakita ko sa data namin, we were able to train 3,200 LGU meat inspection officers who completed the basic meat inspection course from 1993 to 2019. Saan na kaya ito? Yun ang kina-question ko ngayon, kung nasaan na ito. Sabi nila, siguro ma'am, nag-retire na, o namatay ng iba, knock-knock. So, okay. So, sabi ko, kailangan i-research natin ito. Kasi, gagawa tayo ng survey ulit, ilan ba talaga ang locally registered meat establishments? Ilang LGU mayroon slaughterhouses? Ilan wala? Kasi kino-compute ko kanina, 205 LGUs without slaughterhouses. So I need to, sabi ko sa kanila kanina, we need to verify this. Totoo ba ito? Kasi we have 1,488 municipalities plus 146 cities. So sa local government code, kailangan isang mag-establish bawat LGU ng isang slaughterhouse, isang municipality and city. Provinces and barangays, they are not mandated to construct slaughterhouses. Okay. So, hinahanapan ko ngayon na nawawala ang 205 LGUs. Sabi ko, for me, I will interpret these 205 LGUs without the slaughterhouses. So, we need to verify, sabi ko kanina. Okay? Oh, doon kanina sa okay, dito. Total 553 AA and AAA slaughterhouse. The rest LGU. Dito sa 876 LGU registered, poultry dressing plant. So importante ito. The lack of LGU dressing facilities is the reason why dressing of chicken in public markets can't be stopped by the LGUs. So this practice is both risk to public health and risk to animal health. So remember yung Wuhan market, di ba? Allegedly, that is the source of the COVID-19 virus. What if, sabi ko nga kanina, risk to both public health and to both animal health. Okay. So, we need to do something. Kasi yung napakaliit, yun na siguro ang need. Isang gap we need to address. Yung, nakita nyo 25 lang ang dressing plants. We need more dressing plants sa LGUs. Okay, meat inspection, export division. So, imported meat, of course, poultry ang pinakataas. 2019 versus 2020, nag-increase yung, nakita nyo yung beef and buffalo and karagip. So, dun sa buffalo or karagip sa natin, sa local dialect, nag-increase siya kasi ito yung being used for processing, especially sa canned corned beef. Okay. So, ang binibili pala natin, buffalo meat. But, lower man ang cholesterol niya compared sa beef, buffalo meat. Okay. Yung isang caution lang, pag namalengke kayo, nakakita kayo ng buffalo imported buffalo meat sa palengke, bawal yan. Kasi only meat processors are allowed to import buffalo meat from India for processing. Okay? Kaya pag nakakita kami, diretso ka, confiscation by the enforcement team. Okay? So, ang beef sa buffalo yun nag-increase, pati yung but yung pork, nag-increase siya by 16% ang importation, and also yung poultry, nag-increase siya by 37%. So, there are four classifications of meat importers. We have meat processors, meat traders, institutional users. These are the hotels, restaurants, catering establishments, and the fourth is the duty-free locators. Okay? So, we have also what we call the first border inspection and the second border inspection. So the first border inspection, this is being done at the ports of entry, which is being, inspection is being done by BEI quarantine officers. Okay, since there is no area at the port of entry where inspection will be conducted, so nagkaroon ngayon a temporary arrangement to have a second border inspection. Sa ano po ito? Sa cold storage warehouses where NMIS meat inspectors inspect and observe the unloading of imported meat. So, to prevent yung mga smuggling or commingling. Usually yung commingling. Yung smuggling, yung mga undocumented yun. Kung walang permit to import, yan. Automatic outright confiscation yan. So, makita niyo 37 increase sa poultry ng importation. But decrease pala sa pork, decrease. Okay, decrease by 16% in the increase. Okay? I stand corrected. Okay. Sa exportation naman, this is only a value-adding process. Bakit? We import poultry from US, USA. Then, these are processed into yakitori chicken. And then, we export this to Japan. So, for now, Japan pa lang ang market for yakitori. But, the raw material, we don't own the raw material. Kasi mas mura kasi sa mas mura sa US, bumili ng raw materials. And aside from that, may complete ang analysis nila for residues. Yan ang gusto ng Japan. Yung may kasamang laboratory analysis on residues. Okay. The Laboratory Service Division, according to USDA Food Safety Inspection Service, 70% of hazards are invisible and only 30% of hazards are visible. So, continuous ang continuous ang pathogen monitoring ng laboratory, and in 2020 we're able to conduct test of 15,829 samples, of which at least 9% gave positive result. For veterinary drug residues, we are conducting 12 microbiological tests for pathogens, whereas for veterinary drug residues, we analyze 13 veterinary drug residues in meat. So, out of 14,256 samples that were analyzed, 33% turned out to be positive, which needs to have confirmatory diagnosis. Okay, so the meat species identification is, purpose of this is to protect the right against fraud. Okay, so we're able to identify yung dog meat, cat meat, meat from pet animals, pork for halal, okay, kara beef or buffalo meat versus beef. We also analyze sheep, mutton, lamb versus shabon, goat's meat, chicken, and then horse meat. Kasi kung minsan may mga switching, yung adulteration, di ba? Yung kasi enforcement activity, they conduct monitoring, surveillance, and then outright confiscation when it is hot meat or adulterated meat. So, examples of adulterated meat, when the meat is filthy. Paano naging filthy? Kung na-drop sa sahig, di ba? Sa public market, napakadumi, di ba? Pag na-drop yan, supposed to be condemned na siya. Dapat. Or, kailan magkaroon siya ng decontamination process. Okay? Kaya lang, wala nang nagbabantay, 24/7. May mga palusot diyan. Kasi kung vendor ka, manghihinayang. Pero dapat, drop meat is considered filthy. Okay? Decomposed meat, early stage of decomposition. Anong signs of odor, of color, slimy, okay. Carcasses from sick animals, okay. Adulterated, ang ano niyan, classification. Carcasses from dead animals, what more? And then, meat that has past the expiration date. Okay. Usually kasi, under the Philippines, we do not have yet a standard on expiration date for meat. Okay. But, imported meat, on the label, meron na doon nakalagay, expiry date. So, under the law, meat inspection code, a day after the expiration date, the meat is no longer safe to eat. Ayun. Kaya, kung nakalagay sa label ng imported meat, ito, past the expiry date, and confiscated na ng NMIS. And once confiscated, this is destroyed through thermal processing or burying. Yun ang ano namin, practice as of now kasi wala pa kaming rendering facility. So, these are not supposed to be donated. Nasa law yan sa meat inspection code. Kasi, kinonfiscate mo siya, dahil unsafe na siya, hindi na siya pwedeng kainin, bakit i-donate mo pa? Di ba? Common sense. Okay. But, it's not only common sense, the law provides for it. Okay? So, what is now the definition of hot meat? Okay? So, sabi natin, hot meat, ano yun? So, it refers to 3 conditions. Okay? If the food animal was slaughtered from unregistered, meaning registered with LGU. So, hindi siya registered. And then, unaccredited, meaning hindi siya accredited ng NMIS. Okay? And have not undergone the required inspection. Bakit alam mo walang inspection? Kasi walang meat inspection certificate. Okay? Ngayon, electronic MIC na kami. Okay, dahil sa lockdown. Okay. Number 2 condition, it is undocumented. Yung sinabi ko kanina, walang import certificate, certificate to import. Ang Bureau of Animal Industry ay nagbibigay ng certificate to import. SPS, certificate for import. And then, illegally shipped dahil undocumented siya. Okay? So, referring number 2 refers to imported meat. Unregistered kasi hindi siya na-inspect ng NMIS. So, ang NMIS and Bureau of Animal Industry, together, they compose a Department of Agriculture inspection mission, and they go to a particular exporting country to inspect the meat establishments. BAI is concerned about the animal disease situation in the area, whereas NMIS is concerned with the food safety regulation in the meat establishment of that particular country. So, kailangan, after that, kung pumasa ang meat establishments, may registration ang Department of Agriculture. So, hindi pwedeng basta lang mag-export sa Philippines. It has to be screened and inspected by the Department of Agriculture inspection mission. Composed of veterinarians from NMIS and the Bureau of Animal Industry. So, may rigorous screening sa mga exporters of meat to the Philippines. Okay. The last, classified as hot meat by NMIS. What are these? Meat from pet animals like dog meat, cat meat, whatever pet animals, guinea pig, rat, etc. So, all of these 3 conditions, these are called hot meat. So, very common tayo, di ba, na ririnig natin, oh, hot meat yan, hot meat. Okay. Yun ang sinasabi ko kanina, we have dual function, developmental function, and then regulatory function. This is the development function namin. As a form of assistance to the local government unit to assist them improving their existing meat establishment to comply with the national standard. The National Meat Inspection provides technical assistance and cost-sharing scheme under the Meat Establishment Improvement Program. So this is started in 2007. So more than 50 LGUs have been assisted, but mostly cities, first class and second class municipalities. But by 2022, DBM said, we will focus in 2022 to assisting the fourth, fifth, and sixth class municipalities. Okay, the poorest of the poor. So yun daw ang focus ng DBM. So ito yung recipients namin for 2020, tatlo lang naging recipient namin kasi all unobligated budget during the lockdown were reverted back to the Bureau of Treasury. For 2021, ito lang binigay nila. Kawayan City, kung meron dyan, San Miguel Ilo City, yung mga nakikinig, El Salvador City, kailan mag-comply na kayo kasi ang pera up to December 31, 2021 lang. So, last banking day, December 29. So, after that, reverted na yan sa Bureau of Treasury. Okay? Kailangan mag-start na kayo ng bidding process and construction by second quarter. So, Kawayan City, San Miguel, Iloilo, El Salvador, wala pa akong naririnig na ready na sila. These three for 2021. Kasi ako yung chair ng BAC namin. Okay. The Local Meat Inspection Service. Ito yung sinasabi ko under Section 3 of the Public Act 9296. The NMIS Regional Technical Operation Center functions in AA meat establishment shall be reverted to the Provincial Meat Inspection Service or highly urbanized city meat inspection service. Okay, yun ang being prepared as of now. So ang target namin 33 highly urbanized cities for certification and the transfer or devolution to the highly urbanized city. So, but we will be doing that by phasing. For 2021, 16, 2022, 17, and so on and so forth. Under the COVID, under the lockdown, the NMIS issued service continuity plan, the new normal workforce management plan, and under the QMS manual of NMIS, we included the risk management plan for the frontline service. So at the central office, we have alternative working arrangement, whereas all meat inspection officers, veterinarians, and meat inspectors assigned in the meat establishments, they are considered frontline workers. So wala sila, they are not allowed to avail of the alternative working arrangement ng civil service during the lockdown. So until now, meron inspectors, meron slaughtering going on. Nag-start na rin kami this February 2021 ng auditing. Kasi di ba nakita nyo kanina na bumaba ang renewal ng ASF certification. So, nag-online audit, pre-conferences, and then yung validation na lang, pumupunta na sila. But, they are required to have the PCR test. Okay. COVID-19 interventions and assistance. We have extended the validity of the expiring licenses up to December 31, 2020 ito. Registration of accreditation, electronic certification, electronic certification of meat inspection, food lane vehicle pass in coordination with DARFOs. So nag-increase yung meat transport vehicles na nagpa-register during the COVID period, pandemic period. We monitor also the local slaughter, cold storage warehouse, inventory prices online. Lahat online na during COVID, during the community quarantine. We also set up an NMIS hotline. Ito yun, 0966-216-232. Operational pa ito, no? Okay. Online meetings, we do it via Zoom or Google Meet. Safety measures for NMIS personnel, we have alternative working arrangement. Yung mga nasa offices ito, central office and regional offices. But yung sa mga field, assigned sa meat establishments, we provide them PPEs, personal protective equipment, medical kits and supplies, of course, to protect them. We need to care for our workforce dahil kakaunti na nga sila. But yung natulungan din siguro yung mga deputized, pero hindi hindi fully na-provide lang siguro yung PPEs. And then we have daily monitoring of health conditions of the employees. Online selling, we issued 2 memorandum circulars to monitor kung legitimate ba yung selling nila, and then yung compliance with DA Administrative Order number 6, which requires that if the meat vendor is selling chilled meat, they must have a chiller. If they sell frozen meat, they must have a freezer. So that's, and then proper handling. So sometimes the enforcement team, they're able to confiscate meat which are branded as mishandled meat. Yun ang cause nun. Na nagbenta ka ng meat na wala kang chilled meat na wala kang chiller, or nagbenta ka ng frozen meat na wala kang freezer. Yan, ang mishandled. Okay. So sabi ko nga kanina, yung monitoring na legit ba yan? Legitimate ba yan? Ang vendor online selling yan. So, una, kung legitimate, dapat may business permit ka, di ba? Okay. And most importantly, yung meron kang meat inspection certificate, because yung vet or meat inspector nagsicertify na talagang inspected yung meat and byproducts. Okay? Ito yung challenges namin during COVID and until now, we go digital, online, automation of NMIS service. So we have now the NMIS Accreditation and Registration Information System. So mag-renew ng accreditation, mag-register meat transport vehicle, volume slaughter, inventory, condemnation, yeah, APLERS online then. And then a surveillance of animal diseases in the meat establishment, ito, expert and prompt response using event-based surveillance system. Okay. Payment of fees and charges, antemortem, postmortem inspection fee, accreditation fee, etc. You pay through EPS, Electronic Payment System. This is in collaboration with Land Bank of the Philippines. Okay. We have also online ICT service desk. So yung mga emergency meetings namin with the regional centers or stakeholders, ito. Coordinate ICT service desk. We have also, instead of manually issuing certificate of meat inspection, electronic na rin, and EMIC, electronic meat inspection certificate for local meat. Yung COMI po, yun sa imported meat. So, dinifferentiate namin para malaman namin pagdating sa palengke, local ba yan or imported ba yan? So, titingnan ko yung meat inspection certificate. Kung MIC, local yan. For COMI, imported yan. Okay. Kasi karamihan nakikita ko sa palengke, imported meat, pero taob na siya. Okay. Parang, na rin siya, local, di ba? And then, sabi ko kanina, food safety audit, online na rin. Yung pre-conference, but yung on-site verification, yun na lang medyo risky nga may PCR test na requirement bago ano. And then after ng audit, we require them na you have 2 days to work from home. Alternative working from home in consideration ng food safety auditors namin. Okay. So yung community quarantine natin is until September 12, presidential proclamation. Anong number ngayon? Okay. So meron din BTMS of the DBM, Budget and Treasury Management System. So nag-avail na rin kami dito, financial reports ng agency through BTMS na kami. Okay, minimize na namin yung face-to-face transactions with the clientele. Okay. Rehabilitation, ito yung mga challenges namin for 2022 under the National Livestock Program. We have now 1 livestock by 2022. Okay. Rehabilitation, strengthening and upgrading of the meat laboratories. Okay. Letter A, new capacity for ASF testing. So before we don't test for ASF, by 2022 we'll be purchasing test kits for ASF in the meat establishments, meaning slaughterhouses. Magte-test na rin kami. Yung halimbawa may positive, then we do not have the Bureau of Animal Industry. Sila lang ang may jurisdiction or authority when it comes to definitive diagnosis of animal diseases. 2, we need to rehabilitate, strengthen, upgrade, NMIS, rehabilitate central meat laboratories in regions 3, 4A, 7, 11, and 12. Okay. Expansion of veterinary drug residues, AMR, antimicrobial resistance, and then AMO. Programs of both NMIS and the Bureau of Animal Industry. So, sabi ko nga, reality na ang AMR. Devolution of functions in A, meat establishments to LGU meat inspection service. Ongoing ito kasi ito yung binabantayan ng DBM for 2022 budgeting. Okay. The last is urban farming. Okay. My new directive, Honorable Secretary William Dar, that all agencies under the Department of Agriculture, whether the central office or regional offices, we need to adopt a town or a city for the purpose of vegetables farming or small animal raising. O, sino magbo-volunteer dyan? Naghahanap pa kami. But, eto yung gusto namin. Rabbit farming. Help in the promotion and development of the rabbit industry in the Philippines and introduce rabbit meat as alternative protein. Kasi pwede ito kasi sa backyard. Kasi common na, di ba, ang broiler, madali na siya. So, ito, ang rabbit, ruminant siya. Pwede siyang, kaunti lang ang feeds niya, but pwede siyang mag-survive sa grasses. Okay? And then, strengthening of meat safety advocacy dahil nga, yun sabi ko kanina, basta may pagkain, okay na. Pero, siguro sinisip ko, kung abundant ng supply, magiging discriminating na siguro ang consumers. More focus na sila, safe ba ito? Safe bang kainin? Di ba ako ma-food poison, di ba ako magkasakit? Parang yun ang effect ata ng lockdown na naging conscious yung mga tao na, safe ba? Safe ba? Safe. Yung safety palagi nasa isip. Okay? Ito yung last, yung Bayanihan 2 projects under Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, Republic Act 11469 of 2020. NMIS was given 300 million. Ito ang allocation, ito yung binigay namin mga recipients. And as of now, ongoing ng construction and under the law, we were given only up to June 30 to finish the project. So, kaya nagmamadali sa bidding. We have one for Tanawan City in Batangas, 50 million for the construction of meat cutting plant with cold storage facility. This is AAA. The same for San Jose, Batangas. This is the San Jose Workers Multipurpose Cooperative, 50 million for the construction of AAA meat cutting plant with cold storage warehouse. And then, Pampanga State Agricultural College, sa Pampanga ito, they were given 90 million. A little bit bigger itong ano nila, ang ginawa nilang engineering plan for the construction of AAA meat cutting plant and cold storage warehouses. Then Malagos Davao, 90 million, same AAA meat cutting plant. NMIS Central Office, binigyan din kami, sabi ko nga kanina, ang method of disposal namin ng mga condemned materials is thermal processing, parang cremation method, familiar kayo doon. Now we will be having 2 rendering trucks, mobile ito. So kung saan kami naka-apprehend, karamihan kasi mga expired meat, and then yung allegedly smuggled meat, yung mga undocumented. So rendering truck, hindi nasasayang kasi ang byproduct will be feeds, di ba? So pwede siyang gamitin feeds. Okay. So the production of clean, wholesome, healthy, and sound meat for food is the concern of everyone. Growth is never by mere chance. It is the result of forces working together. So I challenge everyone, lalo na dun sa mga external stakeholders namin, let's help together na we can implement yung laws on food safety, meat safety, so that we'll have safe and nutritious meat to eat every day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Obsioma, for that very informative presentation. So now let's move to our question and answer. So ma'am, we have some questions here from our audience. So first up is from Liz Roca. So Liz Roca is asking, good afternoon. How will consumers determine if the meat displayed or sold in the markets are free from ASF? Can people see some signs? If there are, may we know what to do? Okay.
Hello? Hindi nakaintindihan?
Yes.
Choppy, please.
Ay, sorry po. Okay. Sige po. Wait lang. Let me just repeat the question. Okay. Okay, so again, this question is from Lil Roca. So, Doc, she is asking, good afternoon. How will consumers determine if the meat displayed or sold in the markets are free from ASF? Can people see... okay. Medyo choppy yung connection. I'm so sorry. Okay po. Okay, again. Okay. So how will consumers determine if the meat displayed or sold in the markets are free from ASF? Can people see some signs? If there are, may we know what do we watch for?
Okay. So, sinabi ko kanina, ang unang hanapin nyo yung meat inspection certificate. Kasi ito yung certification being issued by veterinarians and meat inspectors that the meat or the carcass and byproducts were inspected. And then yung food animal was slaughtered sa legitimate meat establishment. Either it is accredited or registered. Accredited ng NMIS, registered with LGU. So, yun po ang hanapin. Every day po dapat meron bago. So, yung date, titingnan nyo, yung time ng slaughter, saan galing yung carcass. Naka-indicate po yun doon sa meat inspection certificate. Sino po ang inspector na nag-issue noon? So, dapat, ay question nyo, dapat naka-print mo ng name and then signature, di ba? Para identify din nyo, ito ang authorized na meat inspection officer na nag-conduct inspection and nag-issue ng meat inspection certificate. Without meat inspection certificate, That's illegal. We call that, kanina, di ba, sabi ko, hot meat. So, sumbong ninyo sa LGU or NMIS and we will confiscate or LGU will confiscate. Mandated sila under the law.
Okay. So, this is just a follow-up, Doc. So, if, for example, Doc, sa mga supermarkets, so the consumers have the rights to ask them for an NMIS certificate.
Yes, isa yon sa mga consumer rights ng buyer ng meat.
Okay, so thank you so much for that, Dr. Obsioma. So again, always look for, especially kung meron kayong mga agam-agam with the meat that you are consuming or you are about to buy. So always look for the NMIS certificate. Again, it is your right as consumers to ask for it. So kung wala silang mapakita, that's when you can go or you can reach out to NMIS or to your local government unit, magpa-assist kayo so that you can tell that to NMIS or you can report that. Now moving on, this is our second and I think our last question due to time constraints. So Doc, this is a question actually from Mom Cherry. With the impending implementation of the Mandanas ruling, what do you think will be the advantages and disadvantages with respect to meat inspection services?
Yung disadvantages, unahin. Okay. So, baka yung LGU hindi pa ready to accept yung devolved function. So, we need a transition training during the transition period, we need to train them para prepared sila. So, even NMIS, we're now preparing the training modules for LGU para maka-cope up sila kung anong new functions that they will receive from us. And then, yung DAP, Development Academy of the Philippines, nag-assure na they will be giving management courses sa LGU officials how to manage itong mga functions and programs ng Department of Agriculture to be devolved to the LGUs. Yung advantages naman, of course, magagampanin nila yung mga mandates nila under the local government code. Kasi continuing devolution lang ito. Hindi lahat kasi listed under the local government code to be devolved to the local government units na devolved. So, part 2 ito ng devolution, continuing devolution to the LGUs. And of course, yung extra money nila, may mapupuntahan na isang service para sa constituents nila.